Brian Scalabrine joins me. Let me just ask you. You've been around this league forever. Are you bothered by LeBron moving on from Cleveland? Are you bothered by all guys doing it?
No, I'm not even bothered by Kevin Durant, and I get it. That's as bad as it gets that year when the team that you had on the ropes, and then you end up going there and winning a championship. I think you should ring chase. I think with the salary cap structure, it'd be totally different if LeBron can enter into the open market and make as much as he possibly can. But in this situation, the way that everything is structured, go ahead and team up, make the big three, make super teams, go out there and try to defeat the Warriors. I actually commend LeBron if he goes to a place where he feels like it's about basketball and about chasing rings to try to knock off the juggernaut that we have deemed the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, we always criticize these guys. All they care about is money, and then we're upset when Kevin Durant's like, I'll take less money to go win. We should be celebrating these moves. These players, I watch these baseball guys go to the Seattle Mariners with no chance of winning. Joe Mauer signs with the Twins, no chance of winning because you can't afford pitchers. We celebrate baseball players, but an NBA guy goes, I'll take less money to win rings. We're clobbering these guys. By the way, I think LeBron's gone. I do. You see the hints. What do you see?
Yeah, I think he's gone as well. I think there's sort of like a expiration date on LeBron. Like even, I don't know what the Cavs could do next year to make themselves competitive. And the reality is, it does seem like with Philly coming up, Boston coming up, I don't know what type of team they would have. Maybe these same guys a year older. They already seemed like they were sick of each other this year. So now it's time for him to go to someplace else. And when I look at someplace else, there is Philly out there, and LeBron has to be willing to go to Philly because they have the cap space. LA has the cap space. Doesn't make sense from a winning standpoint. The one thing that keeps screaming out, and based off the Western Conference Finals, is Houston. Like, they need him. Like, James Harden needs LeBron James so he can be James Harden. Chris Paul is there. I'm sure when they made that trade a long time ago, not to say there's anything wrong with going out there and getting Chris Paul, and it worked out, and D'Antoni made it work, but they had to be thinking, like, this is LeBron's boy. They run around in the banana boat together. They hang out together. Like, this could be the ultimate play in trying to beat the Warriors. Get Chris Paul, then go get LeBron.
I said to start my show today, and it works this way in every business, Brian. There's three tiers. There's Starbucks, there's Dunkin' Donuts, and there's everybody else. There's the iPhone, there's the Android, and everybody else. There's Coke, there's Pepsi, and there's everybody else. I feel like the NBA now is the Warriors, wherever LeBron's at, and everybody else. And I say that knowing that, Boston's good. They won a single Eastern Conference playoff road game, and they shouldn't have won that one. And Houston's good, but it looks like that ISO ball wears Harden out by the end of a season, and Chris Paul got hurt again. Philadelphia, by the way, their two best players are not really shooters in a shooter's league. Like, I just think the league now is tiered Warriors, wherever LeBron is, and everybody else. Is that too hyperbolic?
Sure.
Is that too draconian?
No.
Am I overstating it?
No, but it's a small time. There's a small time frame for that. Like, I'm more curious on what happens to the Warriors. Like, what happens when they win this year? What does next year look like? Is there a drop-off? Because I believe from last year to this year, they've dropped off a little bit.
Yeah, a little.
So is it going to be another drop-off? So then what tends to happen when that is other teams start to bring it up? Or is if LeBron goes to Houston, do they get their stuff together and figure out, like the Warriors now, like, hey, we can't be messing around this season. Maybe home court matters to us during the regular season as opposed to, were they really threatened by Houston? I don't know if they took them serious until it was Game 7. So, I'm with you, Colin. I always thought it is, for sure, the Warriors, the best team in the NBA. LeBron, wherever he goes, if he's in the East, you have to sort of pencil him in, even though at times this year, when I watched the playoffs, I thought that the Celtics have a good chance of beating him. The reality is there are levels that LeBron can go to, and then everybody else cannot go to that level. So, and he is getting older, so where is he going to fall? But these new guys, like the Phillies, Milwaukee's, the Bostons, those are all teams on the come up. What is San Antonio going to do? So there's a lot of interesting storylines out there outside of just the NBA Finals where LeBron plays against the Warriors.
By the way, you said the Warriors have dropped off, and I like First of all, the first year with Kevin Durant in the playoffs, it was sweep, 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 win in 5. This year it was 5, 5, 7, and I think they'll win in 4 or 5. Why do you think there's been a drop-off? Steph's still in his prime, Clay's in his prime, Durant's in his prime, Draymond's in his prime, Steve Kerr's still a great coach. Why did they drop off this year?
The simple answer is complacency. Like, when they go out there, they used to have a bad game, and then they get refocused. Now they come in and out of focus all the time. You're like, what are you doing in the second quarter? Hey guys, it's halftime. Let's turn it on in the third. Or man, in the fourth quarter, for whatever reason, where are we going? Are we going to Steph? Are we going to KD? So I don't think when these guys are locked in, I think the rest of the league they would crush these guys. But the complacency of them getting loose with the basketball, defensively not rotating the same way. Draymond Green has said it, I dropped off a little bit on the defensive end. I got to pick that up in the playoffs. But it's tough being on top. When you're really good, people pull you in a million different directions. You have your agents, and people want you to do more commercials. You have more opportunities, and you have to balance all that. So it's hard to stay on top and continue to drive. These guys have done it at times. I think next year we'll probably find more of a drop-off.
It's funny. Finally, Brian Scalabrine joining us, NBA champ, Celtics analyst. There are certain athletes in American sports, and I love them. I love Russell Wilson. But according to multiple sources, he rubbed a lot of his teammates the wrong way. And I love Steph Curry. But you can't find an NBA star that wraps their arms around Curry as much as they do Westbrook, who's impossible to play with, inefficient, and has been a playoff bust. What is it about Steph Curry that he's not embraced like Westbrook, who's impossible to play with? He's not embraced like Harden. Where does the jealousy come from?
So I think you're going to look at the NBA. So the guys who are the stars right now, maybe you're right. Maybe they don't respect Curry from the way that he was raised, or really the media.
Is that it, you think?
Well, maybe. Listen, I respect Curry, and I had an opportunity to coach him. I've played with some Hall of Fame players. Steph Curry is the hardest working person I have ever seen. The time he spends in the gym, his workouts, it all looks funny when he's on the sideline acting like he's playing golf, volleyball, or whatever sport. But when you watch him do a 45-minute workout, he would floor most NBA guys. And this is in between playing 38 minutes and 40 the next night. He's in incredible shape. So I have a lot of respect for him. But I think the new age, young guys that are coming up, I think they have respect for Steph Curry. But there is one simple thing that those other guys, the Westbrooks, the Hardens, the LeBrons, the KDs, the Giannis's of the world, Steph is not going to turn the corner, blow you up, and dunk on your head. So are you really afraid of another time where he pulls up from 3? It's not as physically dominating as LeBron when he puts his head down, turns the corner. Yeah, no,
I think you make a good. I said this yesterday. That was my number one reason. That Westbrook is so dynamic physically that people are in awe of him, but nobody wants to play with him. Right? He's inefficient. Everybody loves playing with Curry, but he doesn't blow you away. And there's something to be said. Athletes are impressed with bigger, stronger, faster athletes. And Steph looks like your little brother. And I think you nailed it. I think there's a physical component here where he's a finesse player, a fall-away 27-footer, and players will never love him like Westbrook, though I think he's a significantly better player. Who do you like tonight? What kind of game will we see?
So if Iguodala doesn't play, I think the Cavs win. I think they're going to win by 7 or 8 points. So I like the Cavs just to play more physical. If you remember, it's the first 5 minutes of the game that set the tempo in Game 2. I think the Cavs are going to be extremely physical. The only thing is they have to be able to close out at the end. Is it going to be LeBron? Is it going to be somebody else? They have to be able to close out late. Remember last year, Game 3 was a really good game until the Warriors go 11-0 in the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So Cavs had their chance last year. They should close out the game, but I do think it's going to be a 5-game series.
Brian, good talking to you. Thanks, man.
See you, Colin.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.